Hello and welcome back to another episode of Man Yells at Sports with your host, Ben McLeish. Today, I'm talking about something that makes me really angry, and that is the rules. Last night, the Timberwolves got absolutely screwed by a technicality. An out-of-bounds play was challenged, and the refs were not allowed to review a foul. They were only allowed to view who it touched last, which was the Timberwolves, but he was clearly fouled. Jaden McDaniels was clearly fouled by Kyrie Irving, but the refs could not even check for the foul. They could only check for the player it touched last. The Mavericks were awarded the ball and they went on to win the game. Now, I'm not saying they wouldn't have won without that call, but still, do you really want games being decided by technicalities? The refs did nothing wrong. They adhered to the rules, but the problem is the rules are stupid. Why can't you challenge a foul? I get it could slow down the game, but at least in the fourth quarter, at least in the final minutes, at least with under a minute to go in the Western Conference Finals. Do we want the game played the right way, or do we want stupid rules to dictate who wins big games? Anything should be reviewable with less than 2 minutes to go in a Western Conference Finals game. Don't we want the game to be played the right way? Don't get me wrong, the Mavericks earned their win, but we need to change the rules. We need to change the rules to start favoring accuracy and not technicalities. And that's not the only rule I can't stand. In my opinion, basketball has the worst set of rules of any of the major sports. Basketball is the only sport where the optimal strategy at the end of games, if you're behind, is to intentionally foul the opponent. What is entertaining about watching guys shoot 20 free throws at the end of games? Now, I understand with the way the rules are currently set up, that is the best strategy. So teams need to keep doing that if they want to try to come back. But I, for one, believe that that is a stupid set of rules for that to be the best strategy. At the end of the day, the NBA is supposed to be entertaining. If nobody watched it, they wouldn't make any money and they'd go out of business. So why are we forced to drag out these games? Why are we forced to sit there and watch a blown out game extend for an extra 20 minutes because the teams just keep fouling? It is not good basketball, and it is not entertaining. Now you may be saying, if you're so smart, Ben, if you're so smart, then just come up with a new rule yourself. Well, I already have. I think that with under 4 minutes remaining, the shot clock should be reduced to 15 seconds for both teams. This allows the losing team to come back in games while not punishing the winning team. If they can keep scoring, then they will not be punished either. They can continue their lead. Nowadays, the NBA is all about scoring, and this would only help with that. And the points wouldn't just be coming from stupid intentional fouls, they would be earned. Now you might be thinking, well, that would not limit intentional fouls. Well, I would also propose another rule. I would not ban intentional fouls. It could still be a strategy. However, I would make an intentional foul worth 3 foul shots. This would not completely eliminate the intentional foul. I'm sure we'd still see it as a desperation strategy. But teams would prioritize actually scoring under 4 minutes, and with the reduced shot clock, they would be able to come back. As long as they locked up on defense, they'd have enough time to make comebacks. It would be more competitive and not boring basketball like I think we see today in most cases. Yes, there is the occasional awesome comeback because of foul shots, but that is not the typical outcome 95% of the time. It's just boring, drawn out basketball, and that is not worth it, in my opinion. I want scoring. I want good basketball. I want teams to be forced to keep scoring points to hold their lead, or teams to be able to get hot to take the lead away. It should not just be a drawn-out foul shooting contest. That is not entertaining basketball. And if you disagree with me, you probably also thought that the three-point line ruined the game. I see a lot of people complain about refs and umps, whatever, these days, but I don't see enough people complaining about the rules themselves. Yes, a lot of officials have been awful lately, and it seems that they have even been getting worse somehow. But last night, we got an example of how sometimes the refs do everything right, and yet the game is still ruined by awful rules. We saw this a few years ago in the NFL when they couldn't seem to decide what a catch was. But they figured that out, they changed the rules accordingly, and it has been better ever since. People give the NFL crap, they give the MLB crap for constantly introducing all these new rules. But at least they're trying to make the game better. I believe that both of those leagues have had some pretty great rules introduced over the past few years. Due to backlash, the NFL has fixed overtime playoff games, and the MLB's pitch clock rule has made games much faster. So if you're a fan of the NBA, please let your voice be heard. Let it be known that games should not be decided by technicalities. NFL fans were furious when the Chiefs-Bills playoff game was ruined by a stupid overtime rule, and they got the rule changed in less than a year. So if you're an NBA fan, head to Twitter, round up your friends, round up your family, round up your wife, go to Adam Silver's house, tell him how angry you are about this rule. Because if we don't do anything, nothing is going to change. The rules will remain the same, and future games will be decided by stupid rules. You gotta get angry, you gotta get mean, and you have to voice your opinion. We need to change the NBA for the better.